I just realized I don't have any makeup on. Oh well,
Oh, well.
that's me in the raw. Today's date is February 1st, 2024. We're talking for a third time to Jane, and she wants to talk about lost quarter was the subject she wanted to discuss today. That's funny. And then we had Porter House.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh, this is just crazy stuff. Nobody would believe it. I mean, it's so far beyond believability. It's ridiculous.
And yet, very interesting.
I want you to notice your lamp right now. That's your baseline.
Looks regular.
Mm-hmm. It's your baseline. When we're going through this, occasionally look at that and look at your screen to see what the light's doing.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So, with that said, the subject is the lost porter. So, you're the interviewer. I'm just the conduit. Which lost porter do you want to speak about? Do you want to tell us which lost porter? Okay, go ahead. Give me the first name of the lost porter you want to speak about. All right, she went right to Anne. You want to talk about Anne? She wants to tell us about Anne, the lost porter. All right, Jane, can you set us up? Can you tell us what year was Anne Porter born? Thank you. Give it to me now, please. I'm assuming 17. Okay, 17 what? 17/6. So the energy is showing me 1761 or 2.
Can we get her father's first name?
Can you give me Ann Porter's father's first name, please? Thank you. Go ahead and spell it out. Ann Porter's father's first name, please. Okay, so I feel like there's a nickname and then there's a real name. Can you give me the given Christian name of Ann Porter's father? Not what they called him, but what was his God-given name? Okay, give it to me now, spell it out. I feel like I keep checking it again and again, but it keeps telling me that she keeps giving me Robert is in the name.
Okay.
Is there a Robert Porter that you've come across?
I don't recall.
There's a Robert in the name. Is he related to Hugh Porter? Oh yeah, that's so there's a Robert in his name that I don't think he's known by something else.
But
Is
ask
he
what the,
is he known by something else, Jane? What is he known as? What do you call him? What what did his friends call him? His friends called him Ben.
was
Robert in his name.
okay. Okay. Could be Robert Benjamin.
Ben Robert, I don't know. Dick, Forrest,
Yeah. Right.
Richard.
Um, related to Hugh.
don't know which Hugh. Again, it's so confusing because when she says Hugh, I see like all these like a deck of cards, and there's like all these hues. Everybody's got a hue.
Well, they
Tied
do.
to this one hue.
Yeah. Well, ask if it's Hugh who is related to Hugh married to Violet Mackey.
All right. So is Ann Porter related to Violet Mackey Porter? Yes. Okay, so she's showing me there's missing information in what we know of the Porters. There's missing information. Nobody has a complete set of information.
I think,
Okay,
yeah.
so what I'm getting, so let me just go there because it's coming in so fast. Because she bucket loads it and then I have to kind of decipher it. So what I feel is that there were, so when she gives me this main porter, so that must be this main porter and violet, and then there's all these hues. So I want to throw out cards because there's hue over here, hue over here, hue over here, hue over here, and everybody has a piece to the puzzle, but not everybody has the whole puzzle.
Okay.
There is, everywhere you look is incomplete. Nobody has a complete piece.
Will we be able to put all the pieces together to get the complete?
Oh, is there evidence, Jane, that will tie Anne into Hugh and Violet that is tangible evidence we can find today? So that's where it stops. So
Hmm.
she does not know the answer to that question.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
That is something we can talk to your higher self for. Because remember, you're in the present moment and we're connected into your higher self. So instead of me saying your magic word, we'll just tune in here in a little bit.
Okay.
So separate your questions out so we can go back and ask your higher self. Susie?
Yeah. Yes.
Huh?
I said yes.
That light's beginning to pulsate. It
Oh.
just went, see, look, did it again.
Okay. Let's ask her, are we correct in our assumption that Anne went to live with her parents after little James died?
Yes. There was no one for her to be with, what I'm hearing.
Right.
So it's everything became okay. So let me just give it to you as it's coming in. So when you answer that question, it's an automatic yes, she did. But again, there's there's time, and she keeps showing me this lag time. It's almost a year, not quite, almost a year. But because there's so much going on, it's chaos. Everything is chaos.
Yeah.
Um, the cabin is, do we complete the cabin for her to stay in? Do we not? That question is up in the air, it feels like. The other part of it is we've all got to focus on like surviving day to day, which took up a chunk of it. But then the other aspect is sort of falling in is we've got to get our siblings back. We know part of them lived. Where are they? We have to go find them. And
Mhm.
so then there's this, how do we go about all doing that? How do we do this? And so it's all this, she keeps showing me chaos, chaos, chaos.
Oh, well, sure.
And it's just like, I feel like Anne felt her husband's dead. you know, and I'm in the way, and it's hard for me to, care for my child and still, and not be a drain. She feels like she's being a drain on, her husband's family. So it's just agreed upon. It's going to work out better that they go and be with her parents. So that's how it feels like it's coming through. Is
Okay.
that sort of how? Oh my gosh, I'm so dizzy. Is that sort of how you felt it?
Well, that's where I've been headed. Yeah, I mean, and that makes, I mean, it makes perfect logical sense as well, right?
Mhm.
Um, when she went to live with her parents,
Mhm.
was the house she lived in with them after little James died in North Carolina?
So, Jane, take me to the location Anne Porter Brown moved to with your grandson, James. What state did she move to? Did she move to North Carolina? The parents were not in North Carolina, they had moved. They had been in North Carolina, but I feel like they were moving and taking opportunities as well.
Okay,
So again, she's taking me to, she goes, you see it as Warren County. You see it. Like from our point of view, she's saying, we see it as Warren.
okay.
Is that where the fire was? Was the fire, again, okay. So it's confusing to me because she's saying Warren and McMinn, and she wants to refer to it as a territory.
Right.
Um, McMinn, is that where the cabin was that burned, that took the life of Anne and her parents? Yeah. So they're already up in that area. Jane, can you confirm for us through your lens, was your grandson James Porter Brown? Can you give me the name of the person who raised him? I'm just going to separate myself out and see if I get the same answer. Oh my God, Susie, I'm so lightheaded. Holy cow. So, Andrew, and is his last name Henderson? And she says yes, and this is why it's going to be hard to put the pieces together. Andrew Henderson is kind of that rogue. He, she's saying he's like Daniel Boone.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He doesn't want to be around people. He doesn't want to own land. He
Yeah.
feels like Andrew Henderson, she's telling me from her perspective, is somebody who felt shackled.
Uh-huh.
Um, oh,
What else does she have to say about this lost Porter? Did Ann Porter Brown have siblings?
hmm, question. Jane Gillespie Brown. Did Anne Porter Brown have brothers and sisters? Did she have sisters? Did Anne Porter Brown have sisters? No. Did Anne Porter Brown have brothers? Anne Porter Brown had brothers. Did any of them reach adulthood? That's why. No brother reached adulthood. At the time of her parents' death, was Anne their only living child? Yeah, that came in real strong. She's giving us understanding why they're missing because we're saying, why can't we find evidence of it? And this is why she's telling us why we can't find evidence of it. Wow. I mean, Susie, you better be asking questions. She is really, really strong with me right now. And the energy is so different feeling.
Um, did she ever, did Jane ever meet James Porter Brown?
Jane, did you ever meet your grandson, James Porter Brown? Did you ever meet him? She's saying no again, Susie. That's been consistent.
Okay.
Were you ever close to meeting him? Not that she's aware of. I mean, yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
The desire was there. The desire was there. She wanted to know. I feel like she knew this Andrew. Did you know Andrew Henderson yourself? Did you know him? I feel like there's a meeting between Andrew Henderson and her after James P. became an adult, and he's telling her about the boy. One time. I hear it was just one time that she saw him after the massacre. Did you know him before the massacre? Did you know Andrew Henderson before the massacre? No, she never met him before. Had he been through your area before? You know what? I feel like the first time she met him, what she's giving me, she's a captive. Is this right, Jane? Were you a captive the first time you met Andrew Henderson? She was a captive. I don't know where, how. And she says he moved around. I mean, I get again with him, he is all over the place, Susie. He's all over the place.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Um, ask her if she had if there's a daughter that we are not aware of beyond Mary, Elizabeth.
Let's go through each one, please.
Okay.
Can you go through each one?
All right. Did you have a daughter, Mary?
Yes.
Did you have a daughter, Elizabeth?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look something up here. Did you have a daughter, Anne?
Yes.
You have a daughter, Margaret?
Yes.
Did you have a daughter, Sarah?
Yes.
Did Sarah live to adulthood?
No.
Can she give us the age when she died? How old she was?
How old was Sarah when she died? Can you tell us? Can you tell us how old your daughter Sarah was when she died? Go ahead and give me a number, please. 3 or 4?
Was Sarah younger than Elizabeth?
She's saying yes. Oh, Susie, don't take me to Sarah again.
Okay.
Um,
All
let me
right.
tell you why. Let me tell you why, because if I don't get it out, it'll stay with me. Sarah, I still see her. If I'm looking out, I see a little blonde girl running this way, and she's running from right to left. And as she's running, an accident happens, and I still see an arrow in her neck. She dies as a result of an accident.
Was Sarah a captive, an Indian captive?
Yes, I heard about. I heard.
You heard it?
Uh, yeah, Jane, was Sarah a captive? Yes. Was she 3 to 4 years old when she died of an accident? Yes. Was it an arrow to the neck? That's coming in so strong, Susie. So strong. Like I like so strong it's making me
Okay. All right.
really dizzy.
Let's move on. Um,
Oh, that mailman, she had to chase him off the porch again.
well, one day you're going to thank her for saving you from
That's
the.
right.
All right. Does she, her daughter Jane, does she have a daughter Jane?
Did you have a daughter, Jane? Jane Gillespie Brown. Did you have a daughter named Jane? Yes.
Did she marry a Collinsworth?
Did your daughter marry a Collinsworth? She's saying no.
That Jane did not? Hmm.
Well, you know what, Susie? I'm right down the middle, so I don't know what this means. So, you know the map, the
Yeah.
yellow ones, I guess, it changed direction. It was going yes, I thought it was going no, but then it stopped and it's going up and down the middle, so I don't know what that means. Was a
Okay.
Collinsworth adopted by another family? Was he a half Collinsworth? Was he being raised by a Collins? Did he bear the name Collinsworth? He bore the name Collinsworth. Was he a biological son of the man Collinsworth? No, he was not the biological son of
Okay.
the man called
All right.
Collinsworth.
Know him as James Collinsworth.
So that's why it went down the middle. See, that's the risk. If you call it too soon, you get wrong answers.
We don't know him as James Collinsworth.
We do know him as James Collinsworth. It's just that his biological father was not a Collinsworth, but he was raised by a Collinsworth and therefore took his name.
Okay. Was Jane younger than Elizabeth?
She's stopping the pendulum. I don't know if you can see it. It's like she does not want to talk about this. I don't know why, Susie. I cannot break that through.
Did she have a daughter named Fanny Frances?
This. She, let me get off of this stupid thing.
Okay.
Ask these questions and watch what it does.
Did you have a daughter named Fanny or Frances? Huh. Okay then. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let me look at this thing again. She didn't want to talk about that.
Find it interesting why she doesn't want to talk about it. Why would you not want to talk about it?
I don't know. Well, maybe it had an unpleasantness, or maybe she thinks you won't deal with the unpleasantness well.
She can soften the images.
Um,
She says, yes, I can soften the images. Okay, thank you. Do that, please. She
okay.
says, I feel like if I soften the images, it lessens the impact. All right, I'll toughen myself up.
All right.
So
Well,
it
look
says,
at her son, Daniel Gillespie Brown.
okay, sorry, say the question again.
Was Daniel Gillespie Brown, her son, married?
No,
Was your son William married?
yes, but later.
Your sister-in-law, Jane Brown, was she married to Reese Porter?
Yes,
Did during the Revolution your sister-in-law, Jane Brown, go to try to help Reese Porter escape when he was being held by the British?
yes, coming in way strong.
Was she
And,
successful?
wait a minute. This is interesting. So let me go with it. I'm getting, and she's laughing, and she's like, and that's the funniest story.
Oh,
And that is the funniest story. I don't know what's so funny about it, but it's like they're all laughing about it. That she was very clever. She was very clever on how she got in and got him out. And they're just laughing about, how she did it. Very clever. She was very clever. Played her part well. So it's the other thing I hear. Did she dress herself up different to look different to gain access? Do you know? When she breaks in, she's not wearing female clothes. When she gets to him, she's looking like a guy. Do we know anything about that story to confirm that?
the only thing we know is I read one place that family lore said that during the Revolution, Reese was being held in a log cabin and she somehow snuck in and helped him get free.
Okay, so I'll just give you the images I'm getting. You can put it in whatever context if you want to take it or not. You'll feel it. If it feels right, then it's right. The images that are sort of playing out in my mind right now is that it's late, um, and it's getting later. So she's sort of timing herself where the shift, the guards, there's guards, and the shift is about ready to take. So before the shift ends, you know how they're changing the guards.
Yeah.
They're tired. They're already tired, and she's dressed like a. She says, "I look like a boy," and she's got whiskey. And because it's the end of the shift, they start drinking, and so they're drunk and they're happy and they're whatever. And then she's got a deck of cards with her, and I feel like she's egging them on about gambling, and they get sort of sucked into that. And now they're over here and they're drunk and they're gambling against each other, and she sneaks in and gets him. But there feels like there's a place that she gets him out of, almost like a side. If there's somehow he gets out, it's not the front door. It's not the front door. I don't know this. Okay. So what I'm getting is that he goes up the chimney and goes out the back way off the chimney. That's the image I get. Jane, let's just see. Jane, you gave me the image. of your sister-in-law helping Reese Porter out of this um, secured cabin? Is it accurate that she went at the end of the shift before the changing of the guards, had cards and whiskey? This is all coming in real strong. And there was not a place for him to exit. It had to be the front door or the chimney. There was only one window to the side. So he went up the chimney and out the back side. He crawled up the chimney. And I'm getting it this way too. Now, she's telling me for you to close your eyes and envision this and feel it because she's really wanting you to feel her energy. So this is a way for her to show you herself. So take in like
Okay.
3 deep breaths and don't ask any more questions right now. She's look at the flashing light. She's telling us to do this. So yeah, okay.
Did Jane talk to him through the door and tell him the coast was clear for him to do that?
You just got a flash and the answer to that is yes.
Right. She did not go in the cabin herself because it was locked. It was
Yes.
secured in some way.
Yes. I think she tried to get in. I'm getting the feeling she's trying to get in. It's locked. Um, hmm, is he in shackles? Is Reese Porter in shackles? No. I feel like she thought she could get through the lock. I feel like she came prepared. She knew the lay of the land, and I feel she tried to get into this lock because I can feel her messing with this heavy lock,
Mhm.
trying to break into it, and she can't do it.
Mhm.
And I think she just kind of looked around. She goes, "Did you climb out the chimney?"
Mhm.
And he's like, "Why did I think of that?" Kind
Mhm.
of that kind of a play out.
Was this in Guilford County?
Uh, did Reese Porter escape the British in Guilford County, North Carolina? I'm bidding yes.
Did they know the person whose cabin he was being held in?
That's a yes.
Can we have the last name of the person?
The
What was the first letter?
C is in cat. O L I N S W O R. What's so funny? H.
Collinsworth. Was it William Collinsworth?
Is it the cabin of Williams Collinsworth? Yes.
Was he related to James Collinsworth, who married your daughter Jane?
Yes. Wow. There's so much energy flowing through me, Susie. Oh my goodness. She is a big energy. So let me stop you right here. When you connected with her, how did it make you feel? Did you notice any?
Lightheaded.
That's how she feels.
um,
So what she's trying to do is prepare you that when you are writing out the details of the story, the first thing you need to do is, center yourself like we talked about doing. And then you need to um, bring in her energy, make sure it's in a divine space where it is her energy. And when you are ready to do that, I need to talk to you as you set yourself up. It's kind of like I'm coming into the room like a teacher, getting
mhm.
yourself set up. And then I can exit out of the room once you are set up. But the this exercise, what I feel like she's telling me is you will know by how you just felt that you are connecting with her. And whatever images she feeds into your mind, that is what you're to write. She says you second guess yourself.
Of course I do.
You're second guessing yourself too much. You just need to allow it to flow. It's hard. It's hard to not second guess yourself doing this. You think, am I losing my ever loving mind?
Yeah. So can we ask her a little bit about her brother John?
No, I don't think so, is what I heard. Go ahead, ask that question.
Can we ask you about your brother John? Can we ask you about your husband James? Hmm. Can we ask you about little James? Okay.
I can't believe it's not even moving.
Um, was your brother-in-law, Reese Porter, forced by the British, forced from his home to track down your brother John?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that now.
Okay. All right. Did was John headed to land that he used to own in Surrey County? Okay. Was this time that Reese Porter was forced to act as pilot to look for your brother John? Was this right after the Battle of Alamance? Was it at a different time? Okay, I guess we're done talking about that.
She is very specific in what she wants to talk about.
Really?
We are not getting off track. Come
Okay.
back over here.
All right. Well, you ask her who she wants to talk about now.
Who do you want to talk about, Jane? Do you have somebody else you want to talk about? Okay, give
Well,
us a name.
we're tired of guessing.
Out. J A. So James, you want to talk about James? James, your husband, James? She wants to talk about her husband, James.
Well, she didn't want 2 minutes ago, but okay.
I think you have to be careful how you ask it.
Okay. Was your husband James a surveyor?
Do you see it? Go into yes, or do I need to tell you? Hold on. Let's do it this way. Jane, is there a message you want us to know about your husband, James? Thank you. Go ahead and give us the message, please. Here. All right, give me the message because she's making me really lightheaded. So hold on. There's a message about James, her husband. James, the husband. Go ahead and give me your message. P I L O T. Pilot. Pilot. Okay, pilot. Is there another word in the message? Yes. Okay, what is the next word? Pilot. Pilot what? A R M. Pilot the army. You want us to make sure that we talk about him piloting the army? Was this, are you talking about going to the dam? Going to the dam. She wants us to talk to James about you want us to talk to James. Okay. All right, Susie, that's why she didn't want to talk about James. She's telling us that James is wanting to talk to us about piloting the army.
Okay. We would love to hear about that. Yes.
That is how all of this started. And so she said, if you imagine dominoes and when they begin to fall is in the piloting of the army. Had he not done that, I feel like the land would not have been available to the level of the land that he received. That action is why they ended up with so much land. And it was like this thing that was too good to be true. And she curses that moment in time because that's the moment she goes to that changed their lives forever and eventually cost her family their lives. She's still mad about it. She
Yeah.
says, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. Nobody listened to me. It did not matter that the safety of the family. It didn't matter. She's angry, Susie. It didn't matter. All that mattered was 4 times the amount of land. So I don't know how much land they had in North Carolina, but it was like 4 times as much. They were ahead of the curve. They were the ones that were, if we are there, that is a major trading spot. That if we are there, we are choice, we are first in line. And she said, yeah, but it's going to cost us our lives. And she kept saying, nobody would believe in my visions. Keep coming, keep coming. She's saying, everybody believed in my visions when it worked out for what they wanted. But if it was going against what they wanted, I was losing my mind, essentially. And she says that kind of off, one off. I don't know what that means, Susie. Everybody, they wanted to believe in my vision so long as it supported what they wanted. But the minute I said that's not a good idea and it went against, what they wanted, then it says dismissing. That's what she said. They dismissed it. And she said, if I could track it back to to the one moment that changed our lives forever, the direction we were in was him piloting the army. Mad. She is still mad about it, Susie. Oh, she's still mad. She's over there chewing his ass out. Almost like I told you it wasn't gonna work out. All right, just to confirm, Jane, did you give me did I speak the right words for the information you want conveyed to Susie? Yeah, that's coming in strong. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So she doesn't want to talk anymore about him. She wants us to tune into him like we've tuned into her.
Okay. I think it is so weird that I've already written her having premonitions before
She had
this.
him. Yeah, she had him. And like I said, everybody wanted to believe in her premonitions until it didn't meet what they wanted. Then she was just dismissed. I almost get them in a conference. I mean, they're fighting about this. She's almost like showing me, I feel so strongly about this. You need to listen to me. And he's like, you know what? The advantages of what we have before us is so great. We would be foolish not to try. We'll just be more careful. All I hear him saying, we'll be more careful. Yes, I get it. We'll be more careful. We'll expect the unexpected. We'll prepare for as best we can for the unexpected. We're going to do it these two ways. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's really coming in strong, Susie. That argument she is still reeling with that argument. Talk about not getting over something. She is not getting over it.
It'd be a lot to get over.
All right, so she's shifting gears and she's showing me that we should be able to find Anne somewhere. Um, Again, it's about you just because you think you have a complete list, make sure you understand nobody has a complete list. All right, let me verify. Jane, are you telling me that with persistence, we will find evidence today of the existence of Anne Porter Brown? Yeah, if you want it, it's going to be really difficult to find, but she is mentioned somewhere within, and again, it's breaking down. You got the hue and the violet, and then you have all these cards. And all these cards, and there is not a complete piece anywhere. Nobody has any complete pieces. Whether it can be found, it exists. Whether it can be found, I don't know. Maybe somebody who has that piece may not even be on Ancestry or even care about historical stuff. I don't know. Just saying it's all incomplete. Nobody has the complete picture.
Will I find it in a library?
I'm hearing no, but will Susie find evidence of Anne Porter Brown in a library? It's in a private collection. That's why it's so hard to find, but she did exist, and she's wanting us to know. Because one of the big questions we have, okay, the big question mark we all have in our head is that we are having a hard time connecting James P. to you. And she's telling us that piece is Ann Porter Brown and her son James. And they both died really young. They didn't own property. It's hard to find them. She gets that, but Ann Porter Brown did exist. And she is part of somewhere in the historical narrative. But again, it's in a private collection. But she did exist, and she was his wife. And that's coming in way strong. And what she's given us on that is true and accurate, she says.
Can she tell us the location of where they were married, James and Anne?
She says, I've already told you that stuff. Again, I'm going back. They were married in Tennessee, but like the way far eastern part, she was pregnant when they got married. They knew each other from Guilford, and once they were married, she returned back with her parents, and he went on to Central Tennessee, but he ended up going back before their son was born. That's the same image in my head. I keep going over and over again. You can play with it and see what you get, but that's what I get.
The first time that James went to scout land in Middle Tennessee, James, your husband, did young James, little James, stay with you on the farm?
Saying there's kind of that yes and no again. I don't know if he went so far and went back. Okay, that's what I'm getting. That's not a complete black or white. So I feel like maybe he started out, but for whatever reason went back. I can't tell you why. I don't know.
Um, your husband, James, became ill between the time he went to look for the land and the time you moved. Can she tell us what the illness was?
Yes, go ahead. It affected his chest.
Okay.
I feel like he can't get a deep breath, and I'm almost hearing Dad kind of step in, and I hear pleurisy. Dad, are you here? Dad's like, I never leave. And he's chiming in pleurisy.
Okay.
If you think about that, if you didn't have antibiotics, that'd be hard to get over.
Well, yeah, that's why it took so long. Yeah, the recovery would be extensive.
Hmm. So this was interesting, Susie. Yesterday I was tuned into Dad, and I said, Dad, do you have a message for me? And I got yes. And it played it out and said, stop worrying about Lester.
That's funny.
I'm like, okay.
Jeez. Can we ask Jane if about the Gentrys that were on the boat with her?
She's saying yes.
Were they brothers, the two Gentrys?
Yes. That's what she says.
Oh gosh, my pen went dry.
For the Gentry's brothers that were on your boat. Yes, okay.
Did you know them before you hired them for before the trip?
Did you know the Gentry brothers before you left? Yes. Did you know them from North Carolina? Yes.
Was one John, one named John?
Yes.
Was the other one James?
Yes.
Can she give us their father's first name? Oh, got it. Okay. Were, were the Gentrys brought on for additional protection?
Yes, they were sharpshooters,
Were
is
they
what I heard.
were they wanting to go to move to Middle Tennessee themselves?
No, I'm getting no. It was more of an adventure for them. Adventure, adventure.
Okay.
But they were marksmen, really good marksmen.
Was there a man named Bays on the boat?
A man named Base on your boat. Yes.
Was his
All right,
mother?
stop. She's giving me part of the plan. She's giving me part of the plan. Let me kind of give it to you real quick because I gotta get it out. So the images that are playing out in my mind, the marksman. So the marksmen, the boys, the brothers. I don't want to say they're young, but they're marksmen, and I feel like they're training her children who can pick up a gun. If you can pick up a gun, they are training the children how to load a musket. Because what they're trying to do is get everybody involved in the safety, including the children. So they can load the musket so they can continue to pick a musket up and fire. So there's multiple muskets. And these Gentry brothers, they have like 3 or 4 muskets. Like they're carrying muskets. So they can have the kids rotate out the muskets. So if need be, they can rotate fire. So they can keep the barrage of fire going.
Yep. Makes sense.
All right, sorry, that had to come out. So Jane, did I do a good job getting that out? Is there more to that story? Just right there? Okay, thank you. All right, sorry. When she gives it to me, I got to get it out.
Okay. Did the man Bays, was his mother on board as well?
Was Mr. Bay's mother on board? No.
Was his wife on board?
You could say, was it his woman on board that they called wife? That's what I get. There was no official ceremony, but the children's sake, it was Mrs. Bay's.
Was she killed?
Yes.
Was she killed on the boat?
No.
Was she killed the next day?
Yes. It's like at the end of the next day. It's not like right, and not like in the morning. It's like it's just like there's a wary. She won't stop. All I hear is she won't stop. She won't stop. She won't stop.
Not
And the irritation level with even with her, it was grating on her nerves. I feel like with Jane, it's just like, please just shut up.
Yeah.
For the love of God, just shut up because
Mhm.
it was making it bad for everybody.
Right.
Because their treatment, she's telling me, got worse the more irritated their captors were becoming with her.
Yes. That,
So, yeah. Jane says, I try to tell her, stop crying, you're going to get hurt. You've got to stop. We've got to survive this. If you keep crying, it's not going to end well, is what she says. But no matter what, she just could not stop herself from crying. And it wasn't just a sob, it was wailing. It's like constant wailing.
well, just think about witnessing what they witnessed.
Susie, I tell you, I would have been, I'd just say, okay, shoot me now.
And, they probably would have.
Yeah, they would have accommodated me. Well, okay, so this is what Jane is just she goes, you'd be surprised what you will adapt to when you are in a position of having to adapt.
Right. I agree. Yep.
I sent you the link in the text about a family that was based on a true story. The movie's not very well done, but it was interesting because it was a German family coming in the 1700s and getting land. And I
Yeah.
sent that in the text as a
Yeah.
movie.
I
Yeah,
haven't
you too.
done it yet, but I did see that it came in.
But it had some interesting things that you might want to look at because it is based on a true story. And
Well, yeah.
so
Yep. All right. Does Jane have any last thing she'd like to say before we button up here?
do you have another message for us, Jane? All right, go ahead, please. S P E A. Speak to James.
Okay. What's your schedule like?
Like
Mhm.
um Jane's schedule?
I think James is probably fairly available.
Oh, no, I'm available all day. Like I said, I have got to get a break from working on my website.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to break for lunch because I gotta eat before I have to go back to Reed's, but do you want me to let you know when I get there? Because I'll probably just go right over and set up rather than coming back here and set.
Yeah, we can do that.
And I went through yesterday and after that little trip to Mount Zion, everybody's here.
Mhm.
I thought, all right, there's so much intersection that is documented in Jefferson County and Switzerland County and Fall Creek Township. And when I was seeing all these marriages that ended up in Mount Zion Cemetery, I went through between 1810 and I think it stopped at 1830. There was a book that had Jefferson County marriages. So I went through and I wrote the list of all the familiar names, and there are more than I even knew. Um, but one of the ones that I find very interesting is this Shelton Rutherford, who married Sally Helms, Hester's younger sister. Now, he died early, like they weren't married very long, and then she married someone else. But and that's the only Rutherford that ever came up in that period of time in marriages. So, because I was thinking, maybe I would find like a sister of his or something that married, but I didn't find any of that. There are several Hoaglands down there. There were the gal that married Isaac Helms, who was Hester's brother. He had like, I think, 3 different wives, 2 or 3. The first one he married in Jefferson County. Now, Isaac is, remember the Silas Helms you were reading the stuff about that had the mill and his wife caught fire and died? Yeah, that is, I think Parmelia Wells is Silas's mother. In fact, that's who's on his death certificate. I looked that up today, so that's who's on his death certificate. But it's Abraham Helms married Jemima Welchel. So the Welchels were in Jefferson Township or county as well. And I wanted to go through and see, Snodgrass family was there. And that was the second husband of one of Hester's sisters. She had married a Welchel first, Frances Welchel, I think, and then she married a Snodgrass second. Obviously, the Rikers are there. James Alfrey is there, married Nancy Helms. George, her brother, married Nancy Riker there. Oh, McKinstray, William McKinstray, and that's someone who came up to Fall Creek Township. There's a David Helms, which I don't remember seeing a David, so I don't know if it's connected or not. But there was a David Helms married there. Hudson's.
Mm-hmm.
I need to look and make sure, it's the right line, but Hudson's were there. There's another Brown family there. And I documented that because I think that's important for discounting the James P. Brown being the one who married the Amelia, what was her name? Amelia
Haskell.
Haskell. Yeah. I think it was that other Brown family.
Mm-hmm.
Married Amelia Haskell.
So easy to get them confused when they're living all in the same area.
Right. Well, and it's like everything else. We've got the cousins with all the same names, but the McKays were there as well.
So I'll just tell you right now, Hester's coming through and I feel her frail. She's frail, frail body. And I keep wanting to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So you must be working on her writing.
In the story, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because she's got more to say. And she's wanting, can we talk? Can we talk?
Yeah.
Look, she manipulates that light more than anybody.
Yeah. Yes, in fact, what I'm writing right now is her meeting James P.
So the information she's giving me now is that take note of how, because the imagery that she's giving you is how she was in her youth.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm bringing to point now is that point juxtaposed to where she ended up. And I feel this little
Yeah.
hunkered down,
Yes.
thin,
Yes.
arm unusable,
Yeah.
like right here.
Well, and I think her shoulder was damaged. I think it was her upper arm.
Or whatever, she had no movement of it. I mean, it was kind of useless.
Yeah,
And I keep feeling it like this. It's
yeah,
like close to her body like this.
yeah. And that's what I was getting. But yes, it's interesting as I'm writing her. Let me know, Hester, if I'm hitting it right, because she's vibrant, she's adventurous, she's looking forward, she wants things to happen. She doesn't particularly want to be married because one of the things that came to me was there was enough work at being a daughter. She didn't really want to be a wife yet, because, and at this point, she's like 15. So it's like, for her, before she meets James, her image of being married is something that she's pushing away.
Mhm.
It's just more work because she has no concept of the other side of the marriage, right? She doesn't have the love, the falling head over heels part of it
Mhm.
yet. So meeting him starts to shift her view.
Mhm. And the big thing is how vibrant, look at me, how vibrant I am.
Yes.
To
She,
where her story is that he robbed me of everything.
yeah, because she's a little feisty and she's just,
He takes that out of her.
yeah, well, and it's one of those things that I think that attracted him to her, but yet he then felt like he had to break it,
Mhm. Yeah,
because
yeah.
for control.
Mhm. Spot on.
No.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's
So
spot on.
that's kind of the progression I'm seeing for their relationship in this beginning. And I think they probably didn't spend a lot of time together before they married. He,
Probably not.
and
But the image that she's really bringing into me is this little shriveled up, skinny little woman with no use of her right arm.
right.
And she's really driving that home to me right now.
Well, and
So,
yeah, it's that. And I think to me, that's what she's, all right, as you're writing this part,
mhm,
the youth, I want you to be sure you know where I end up.
right. Because she'll fill in the gaps and that'll make sense. This is the breaking down,
Right.
the destruction. And
Yeah.
she tried to fight back. She was strong. And that's the part that's so important to her. And
That's
actually, it's kind of a good message for a lot of people. If you
yeah,
think,
that's another reason why he had to break her because she
Mhm.
didn't fight back. This was
Yeah,
not, this was not, yeah. Yeah. It's how often is it that a person is attracted to someone else and the very thing that attracts them is what they feel like they have to kill eventually, you know?
that's a very good point, and maybe something that she needs to convey because I think that's a really good point that's going to connect with a lot of readers.
Oh,
I mean, a lot of readers.
look at my light.
I know. I'm telling you, she's here. She's wanting to talk. She's like, let's do this.
I know. Well, I'll get back to it. I got to sit down and be in my hole in order to, but I've been
She's
trying.
had a lot of practice with lights. She keeps telling me, I've had a lot of practice with lights. Where Jane had just a little manipulation with it, she's
Yeah.
had a lot because she's been trying it. She's over there. She's in that neighborhood where they built, and she's like in these different houses, and they're like, "What's wrong with our lives?" And she's just like,
Someone see me.
"Mhm."
So, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go have lunch. I'll let you know when I'm back and maybe we can talk to James a little bit and then because I need to, I'm trying to, even if I don't have any time, go back every day to the manuscript that I'm writing to read it and maybe just put a sentence in, just
Or make notes in it to kind of like stepping stones.
yes. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like add the little note blocks, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of those in there already. And I keep adding them just so I don't forget. And I know, you know, I know where I'm headed. I know I'm headed to this totally broken woman.
I feel like crying. And it's not my tears because I got nothing to cry about today.
I
I
know.
actually have sun boiling my skin.
I know. Look at this. What is that disc in the sky? So, okay. All right. Well, I'll send you a text if you're available, fine. If not, I'll work on the other stuff and we can get James later. Big James.
I will sit here and if I feel the urge to record, I will, and I'll just send you a recording. And then maybe what that will do is give you
Food
a
for,
platform.
yeah, yeah. Sounds good.
I'll just do that here in a little bit. I gotta get something to eat too. My breakfast ain't holding. I had a grapefruit and an English muffin.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Ready? Bye.